who are you and what do you do?
Yeah. I am Sevvy. What do? I stream games. And I'm part of Moon Skull. I'm part of the extended family of geeks and gamers. And I'm at Monday Hangover over with Jay and Epic Mike and Jonas and Slow Mo. And
That's Mo Zamboni, by the way.
Yeah, also funny. And also, I'm a lawyer by trade, so I have another channel called Legally Sevvy as well, where I've been really, really busy with work, so I haven't been able to get a lot of recordings, but I have a bunch of recordings set to come out as well.
That's awesome. So, if you don't mind me asking, like, what kind of, I guess law do you, did you study? Like my
Yeah.
cousin's a lawyer. He was like, I don't know, lemon law. So like he's basically he's a lemon lawyer. So
Ah,
so
okay.
what kind of law do you study
Yeah.
or you
Well,
practice?
when you go to law school, you don't really study like one particular law versus
Hmm.
another, right? You kind of study everything.
Yeah.
But I do labor, employment, contract, corporate type of law.
Oh.
So really, really boring stuff. But it can get exciting. You get really, really funny stories though. You get some
Yeah, I can
insane
imagine.
stories
Yeah.
that you will never hear. Like I can tell a couple if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
One of
Yeah.
them was this janitor individual. This janitor individual was working for a very well known brand, um, a huge brand. And in the CEO's office, he decided to jerk off. And he was not aware that they were hitting cameras there.
Oh man.
Because things had gone missing. So the conversation that I had, because I've represented both sides. I've done plaintiff's work and I've done defendant's work as well. And at that time, I was doing plaintiff's work. And the conversation I had with them, because like it's not like a huge community. Like you get to know all the other lawyers that are out there in your area, and you develop good friendships with them, right? Because you have to try and settle cases, right? Your word is what gets traction in court, and your obviously your experience and anything. So anyway, so I'm talking to opposing counsel, and they're like, "Yeah, so we have a video of this," and I was like, "Oh shit!"
No. Well, wait.
And-
Were you guys okay? As a lawyer, did you have to watch it?
Well, I didn't watch it, but they gave me some still pictures of it. And because I
God.
actually said I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see this. And then they said like we're willing to have like a mediation meeting with the individual, but we're concerned that he might like get off from like watching a bunch of female lawyers watching this video. And we were like, I was like, touche, dude, touche. So I call up this dude, right? Because I've been talking to him this entire time. And he's like, no, this never happened. Like, it was not me. Like, I didn't do all this stuff. And I call him up and I don't get him. So I leave a voicemail. And I was like, hey, just wanted to let you know this happened in this location. And there is a recorded video proof of this because things had got missing from the CEO's office. So I need you to be aware that it's you. He dropped it after that. He didn't return any of my calls. He was like, I'm done with this entire thing. That was just the craziest. Like, it's just one of the wildest ones. Like, it's like you get to see people in the most hilarious like places, and some of the craziest ones. I got another one, and this is the last story I'll tell, unless you want me to tell more stories, because oh my god, I have so many stories. But this other individual, because part of who we represent is all over the United States. So it's not just in Minnesota, right? So it's just all over. And this individual, there was CCTV footage in the break room where this guy came at him with a knife, and he
Oh.
pulled a gun from like a backpack that it looks like was like right next to him, right? And you can see very clearly that the gun, like you can see it's a Weston gun, right, with a J-frame gun, so you can kind of see it's a small revolver, but you can kind of see it very clearly. If you know anything about guns, which hey, you probably should. If you don't, you should. You know, the dude we go to arbitration, because a lot of the cases usually go to arbitration, and in arbitration the dude is like, no, that's not a gun, it's a nail file. It's like, a nail file? Like, I don't think you realize what a nail file is like this. It's like, sure. You're like, I was eating a popsicle, so I have like a popsicle thing here, but like, it was like, this is this is not a nail file, but this looks like a fucking nail file, right? That's not it. This is not it. Dude, try to keep saying it was a nail file. I was trying so hard not to burst out laughing. Oh my god. It's just crazy.
It's one of them ghost guns. Yeah, them ghost guns. Yeah. The polymer 80s. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So now here's the thing. So you're in so you only practice in your state, right? Like like law. So you're it like, I'm not sure what like the legalities on that are, but like usually if a person's coming at you with a knife, you know, you have a what's it called here in California, we do if you have a CCW or something like a permit to carry, you actually, if you feel like you are in the midst of a great major bodily harm, or a loved one has major bodily harm, you can potentially shoot the person and hopefully they stop. So if you're talking about like a Smith and Wesson J frame or something like that, that's chambered in like 357 or something. It's just like, hey man, it is what it is, bro. It's like and here's the thing, like, how does would you actually like take on, because I know that when it comes to law, like, it's up to you whether or not you want to take on the case, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like it's the thing, like I always get here in California, it's like it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yeah.
So, like, do people actually like, man, he's like, does it happen often, like, where you are? Like, do you see a lot of those cases?
Well, in the case that it came up in the employment context because he was fired for having a gun in premises. I mean, both dudes were fired, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So he, of course, was a felon who was not supposed to be in possession of a gun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is.
To get started, right? But in terms of like practicing law, just to kind of explain a little bit, like, I can practice in state court here in Minnesota, but I'm admitted federally anywhere, so if there's federal cases, I can do them federally, and also admitted, you can get admitted in other states as well. And then if you're doing something like arbitration, you don't need to be admitted to the state to do arbitration in that particular state, right?
Okay.
So it just kind of depends on that, but generally you are correct. There's some self-defense laws depending on the state that you're in. Some states you have the right to take a stand, and that stance depends on where you're at. Like, if you're protecting property, make sure you're aware of what your property lines are, because there was this one case that I think came up, like, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. This dude that said that he was trying to defend his restaurant, his bar, but he stepped over the property line, so that no longer applied for him, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, but Minnesota, it's you run away, and if you can't run away, you keep running away.
Right? Duty to retreat.
Yeah, your duty to retreat is like tenfold, and it makes it really, really hard to like defend yourself in Minnesota, because they change some of our laws here. Where if you're shooting somebody, it has to be like absolute worst case scenario, and you couldn't keep running away. So it's not just a duty to retreat and go and hide in the bathroom. Is like duty to retreat, you hide in the bathroom, then you open up a window, and then you keep fucking running, right? That's how bad Minnesota is. But some other states are a little bit different. Yeah.
Now, I do want to ask, how did you like? I guess you would say like how did you get started in like streaming and like what prompted you? It's like, hey, like I'm gonna start, a YouTube channel. I'm gonna,
Mhm.
go online and play video games. Like, what prompted you to start your, I guess you would say, social media presence or, as being a
Yeah.
content creator online?
Yeah. So I think it really was around COVID. I'm a very extrovert person and I love talking to people. I love meeting people. I love learning from people because you learn from everybody every single day.
Hmm.
I learned something from anybody, no matter like what profession they're in or what they do for a living. I'm always learning from each person that I meet. And during COVID, you couldn't have that human interaction anymore, and I got really really depressed because there was like you couldn't interact with anybody, you couldn't talk to anybody, you had to stay inside your house, you couldn't do anything. It was just really really hard to kind of have that interaction. So I started to then stream. I think I started to stream on Twitch. That's
Okay.
where I
Yeah.
started to stream.
Yeah.
So I started streaming on Twitch. And I think like I was only like in Instagram and Twitch. And at the beginning it was just like me just streaming the game and like you couldn't see me. And then I was like, okay, all right, I'll build up my confidence to turn on the camera so you guys can see what I look like. 'Cause I'm not an old person. I'm not an old fucking man, dude. But so I kind of started doing that, and through that I got acquainted with many other different streamers. And that's how I met people from Geeks and Gamers as well. I started in Geeks and Gamers tabletop, and then that led me to meet everybody else over at Geeks and Gamers. And I just met so many different people. It's absolutely been a blessing to meet so many different content creators. Everybody is just so nice. It's so amazing. It's such an amazing community.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Project Eggroll podcast. Make sure to catch us live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Also, be sure to subscribe, and we will see you all there.